Hi, this is Vinney Chopra. Thank you for again joining on my podcast, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. As you know, I wrote that book, which is a top seller in Amazon. Internationally also got a lot of acclaim, reviews and all. And this podcast is about syndication, about commercial investing. I like to bring great guests for you and dig into their story, their successes, and find out some nuggets from them so that you could really enjoy them and learn from them and then implement them. Hi guys, perfect. This is Vinney Chopra, and I have a great friend of mine, just a legend in the multifamily in commercial real estate, a great guy. Paul Moore is in the house, and I'm so fortunate, Paul, to have you, brother. And, we go way back, and I was so intrigued with your book, The Perfect Investment, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
That
was a humble title, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. I said, you know what the heck I'm doing? I need to read this book. It was a wonderful book, and I applaud you for that, really. And, we're going to talk today really about a lot of different things, and contrarian to, syndication like I've been doing in multifamily. There are so many other avenues of commercial that we need to dig into. Like you and I talked, I'm branched out into 9 different businesses now, along with multifamily. And that's the way to the future. You don't want to get stuck in one place, because I just bought one multifamily last year, one this year now. Everybody's trying to, everywhere. So we're going to talk about storage units. We're going to talk about how to keep your wealth, how to really, diversify. So I'm very excited about it, Paul. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Yeah, me too. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Where do you live now? Like, I'm in the Bay Area. Your daughter is nearby. I know you come. I love to invite you to my place. I'm in the backyard. Great. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. I have 2 daughters in Redding, and I'm in Lynchburg, Virginia, right here right on the verge of the Blue Ridge Mountains, right outside our window there.
How nice. How nice.
Yeah.
So give us some, background. When did it start? I think a few years back, right? When you started to shift, and take us through that journey. How did that really get into your mindset? And then you started shifting into other avenues,
Yeah. So I sold my company to a publicly traded firm in 1997. And I thought that I was a full-time investor, but I wasn't. I was more of a full-time speculator. I didn't know the difference. And I've come to realize that investing is when your principal is generally quite safe and you've got a chance to make a profit. And speculating is more like going to Las Vegas when your principal is not at all safe and you've got a chance to make a profit. And I did a lot of that. I made some money and I lost some money over the years. And I decided that I like investing better. It's a better path to more reliable, stable, multi-generational wealth. And so I wrote the humble titled book, The Perfect Investment.
Yes.
I decided for my company, we did not have a robust acquisition pipeline. We did not have the relationships that you have with, brokers and off-market deals. And we concluded that for us, that multifamily wasn't the perfect investment because you had to overpay to get the deals we were looking at. And so we decided we wanted to find asset classes that were owned typically by mom and pop operators that had a lot of intrinsic value and that had a lot of, that weren't upgraded and that needed a lot of, changes to really realize their potential. And we found that in self-storage and mobile home parks.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I want to just say accolades because Dylan Marma, my very good friend and who went through my academy, very good friend of mine, he's doing so good in mobile home parks.
Yes, he is. I just talked to him this week.
Oh, you did? Oh my gosh. I love him. Yeah, he was with an educational company in San Diego when he reached out 5 years back, I think it's now. Yeah. And he says, Vinney, I want to join. But then the other person who's in mobile home park is Prabin Data, I think, in New Jersey.
I don't know him.
Then, and then the other one is storage units. Oh my gosh. my good friend who just left the job in Silicon Valley because he bought 4 storage units, automated them, doubled their NOI in 1 year, all 4.
Wow.
Doubled it. And he left the IT job.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
God of Kumkar. Accolades to him and accolades to you. Yeah, please.
Thank you. So, there are 53,000 self-storage facilities in the U.S., and about 75% are run by independent operators. 2 out of every 3 of those independents are mom and pops that have one asset. And some of them are run very well, but many of them.
Hi. You are listening to Syndication Made Easy podcast. We will be right back after this short break.
Hi, thank you so much. This is Vinney Chopra, and thank you for subscribing to my podcast and YouTube channel and Facebook pages and all the great things, and LinkedIn. Connect with me. I come live to you every Friday at 9:30 Pacific with Vinney and Bo show. Please also look at that. And also the podcast, which is my Apartment Syndication Made Easy. The book I wrote a couple of years back became international top seller on Amazon International now. And then we like to bring great guests for you every week or twice a week sometime to give you a lot of great knowledge. So please subscribe. You give us 5-star reviews on the iTunes. The better the guests we can bring, and our ranking will go higher also. Thanks again for following us and really getting the most out of it. Please comment, like, share, because we would love to bring better and better material for you.
But many of them don't have the knowledge or the resources or the desire to increase the income and to maximize value. So if somebody can acquire these assets and increase, just make the value adds, extract that intrinsic value, they can make significant profits for their investors. I mean, if your guy there who did the automation of the 4, think about it. If he just had 50% leverage, he just doubled the value of the asset and quadrupled the value of the equity for those investors. That's a pretty good deal, huh?
It really is. It really is, Paul, what you just mentioned. I hope everybody listening and watching us, you saw what we just did. You invest 100,000, but you get a loan. So the leverage brings you a position of 400,000 most of the time, So your 100, you're getting appreciation and everything multiples on 400,000, not 100. Stock market is tumbling up and down. Oh my God, what's happening in the last, this whole year, 2022, So thank you for sharing that. You can quadruple your money if you are in the right asset class. And I'm so excited about it, Paul. I want to really dig into it so much. How to find them, how to automate them. So please take us through the ride, brother. Yeah.
All right. So when I discovered self-storage, first thing I did is I went on Amazon. I looked for the books on self-storage, and I was disappointed. I didn't really know where the best books were. They looked like they were kind of self-published. My friend AJ Osborne had not written his wonderful book on self-storage yet. So I started a book, and I wrote a book called Storing Up Profits, and it was published by BiggerPockets Publishing last fall.
Yes.
Storing Up Profits, Capitalize on America's Obsession with Stuff by Investing in Self-Storage. And the book is broken into 3 sections, which we can go over here. But the first section is the case for why we love self-storage. The middle section is 4 different paths to wealth and self-storage. And then the last section is of quite a bit of interest. And that would be that there are 7 different paths to get into commercial real estate and self-storage specifically. And those 7 paths, would include different ways to get started if you want to do that. So of these 53,000 self-storage facilities in the US, like I said, a lot of them are mom and pop owned. And these folks don't have the desire. They don't need to upgrade. I mean, they've already doubled the value because cap rates have shrunk from, let's say, 10% to about 5%, which means the value of their assets, even if they're mediocre assets, have gone up, by double.
Yes.
And so they know this because they're getting offers regularly to buy their facilities. This fragmented nature of the asset means that there's a lot of upside. And some of these upsides include adding, like sometimes you'll buy a self-storage facility and they'll say, hey, we have 6 acres out back we're not using. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, there's huge demand right now for boat and RV storage. And so you can incrementally gravel or pave that and add self-storage for boat and RVs.
Yep.
You can also add a climate-controlled facility.
Yes.
On a small footprint, you can add a large 3-story climate-controlled facility and upgrade the whole nature of the entire asset. You can add a showroom and sell retail items like locks, boxes, tape, and scissors. Or you can go the other direction and automate. You can add U-Haul leasing. U-Haul leasing can add, let's say, $1,000 to $5,000 a month in commission from leasing U-Hauls. Let's do the numbers on that one. So let's say you add $3,000 a month in commission, and you've already got a staff person there, so you're not adding any real cost. There's certainly no CapEx except one computer, the capital expense, that is. So let's say you add $3,000 a month. Let's do the math. So $3,000 a month is obviously $36,000 a year added to your net operating income. Now, the value of any commercial asset, including self-storage, the value equals the net operating income divided by the cap rate.
Yep.
Let's just say we're using a very conservative 6% cap rate, $36,000 a year in additional income divided by 0.06. That is $600,000 in additional value. Let's say you only paid $2 million for this asset, and you have 100. Let's say you have $1 million in debt and $1 million in equity. You just signed a contract with U-Haul and started leasing U-Hauls. You increased the value of your equity by 60%, from $1 million to 1.6, just by adding U-Haul. And so these are some of the wonderful, upsides we can see from investing in self-storage. One of the things we love is the tenants are sticky. If I'm leasing a $2,000 apartment and I get a notice to increase that it's going to be increased 10%, well, I might move before I pay an extra $200 a month. But if I have a $100 self-storage unit and they raise it by 10%, I'm probably not going to spend a weekend, get a U-Haul, get my friends together to move my my treasures down the street just to save, $10 a month.
You're so right about it, Paul. You're so right about it. Exactly. That's what we've been talking in our teams. People do not move around. And I couldn't believe where I live in Black Hawk. My friend, when we went on he said, there are how many storage units right around you?